At this point, it feels like a lot of non-Nintendo fans are coming out and going wild trying to downplay all of the major Nintendo releases over the next 6 months. You saw a lot of seething about Kirby Air Riders, you saw a lot of seething about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and you're seeing a lot of seething about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. You're seeing all of this, like, all these copes, all of these denials, like, Nintendo is just as bad as Sony, you guys. Like, you're seeing a lot of that, and it's all really embarrassing and cringe. And I've already talked extensively about the weird backlash towards Kirby Hair Riders. That narrative that this was a game that couldn't carry a holiday season has been completely and utterly debunked. Like, it's done, it's finished, it's never coming back. And so the audience has moved on to, like, complaining about Metroid Prime 4 instead. And it's interesting seeing Prime 4 being discussed in this way, because Prime 4 is, in my mind, something that is underwhelming, that's something that does not live up to expectations, something that is kind of a disaster. But I don't necessarily feel as if, like, this is the big, like, epic fail that people make it out to be. Like, it's gonna be another Other M, okay? Like, they're gonna put it out, it's gonna do reasonably well, fans are gonna hate it, and they're just gonna kind of, like, course correct after it. That's kind of the way I see Metroid Prime 4, and it's the reason why I don't really take any of these, like, this concern trolling about these games seriously. Like, it's just unbelievable how so many people are, like, have so adamantly insisted that, like, Metroid's on the way out, bro. Like, it's laughable, it's out of touch, it's ridiculous. So with that being said, like, the Mario Galaxy movie, in a lot of ways is worse. Like, I think with the Mario Galaxy movie, it's more accurate to say that the complaints being lobbied at it are more due to, like, online marketing and, like, trying to undermine Nintendo. So, like, the film industry is undoubtedly very, very scared of Nintendo's presence in the film industry. They are undermining everything they're doing. They're going to be bigger than Disney. They're putting out, like, hit after hit after hit, and it's just impossible for the rest of the industry to keep up. Um, the Marvel films are going to be eclipsed by Nintendo video game adaptations. The one-off successes that people tried to hype up as, like, being better than Nintendo, Sonic the Hedgehog, Castlevania, the likes of that, all of that is going to fall apart because Nintendo movies are not only better, they're also more accurate to the source material. So that's definitely something that, like, a lot of people are really struggling with at this moment, is that, like, the traditional method of downplaying Nintendo adaptions, that, like, it's nothing like the game, has been, like, completely and utterly dismantled. But with, like, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the interesting thing we're seeing right now is that we're seeing a retread of the cope, like, back when the original movie was coming out. Like, the idea that Peach is she's too girl bossy, bro. Like, she could fix all the problems herself, bro. And that just completely ignores the fact that, like, first of all, she doesn't. And second of all, that Mario does do things in these movies. So, like, the entire cope that, like, Peach is, like, the real protagonist of the Super Mario Bros. Movie is just completely and utterly wrong, and yet you see a lot of people, like, stand by it as the defining criticism of these movies. And it's just a retarded cultural war thing that has no basis in reality and should be condemned by everyone. But it's like the thing that everyone's doing, like, for the Galaxy movie, is that, like, well, they're just gonna go more extreme with it in this one. Like, in the trailer, you didn't see Mario do a single thing. Like, it's a giant cope, and really should be called out for what it is. And I think the biggest cope about it is this idea that Princess Peach never did anything in the old games, or that Princess Peach never had this personality. And it's just like, yeah, whenever someone says that, you just know that they're not actually a fan. They didn't read the old comics, they didn't see the Super Show, they didn't play Super Mario Bros. 2. Like, even the plot of the original Super Mario Bros. Indicated that, like, Princess Peach's magic was essential for, like, freeing the toads from the blocks. Okay. Like, this isn't some, like, radically new thing for the character. Okay. Like, in particular, I think it does need to be acknowledged that Princess Peach's personality does seem to be very much influenced by the Super Mario Adventures comics, which, by the way, are excellent, and I would highly recommend them if you haven't checked them out. But the Super Mario's Adventures comics features, like, at a certain point, like, Mario getting kidnapped and Peach having to go save him. It's like a role reversal thing, and it's like, and it does need to be said more, and this does need to be brought up more, is that, like, this kind of thing is not inherently woke. Like, that's kind of the thing, is that, like, people have this mindset that a female character doing anything or acting a certain way or saying certain things, like, automatically makes her woke, and, like, the reality is that it doesn't. Princess Peach in the Mario movie is still, like, this very feminine, very sweet character. You know, in the movie version, because of, like, the film and because she's meeting Mario for the first time, like, it's just kind of a little bit different. But the same could be true for, like, the Super Mario Adventures comic, where she's a lot more aggressive and a lot more, like, angry and a lot more, like, uh, doing a lot more in the story. I think traditionally the reason why you played as Mario saving Peach was because of, like, gameplay limitations. But even as early as Super Mario Bros. 2, she was fully playable. So, like, the idea of making Princess Peach this well-rounded female character should be something that's appealing to people. Okay, like, it was appealing to me. Like, it's appealing to the fans. It's appealing to people who see the movies. Like, the only people who complain about this are terminally online, like wokey anti-wokesters, like, online, who are doing the exact same thing that the woke audience do, is that, like, dictating what Nintendo can and can't do with their characters. Like, it doesn't matter whether people, like, receive this portrayal well. It doesn't matter whether it suits the movie or the tone they're going for. It doesn't matter whether it makes sense for the plot. It doesn't matter that, like, the simple fact that it's different should be appealing to people, that they're doing something a little bit different. Like, none of that matters. Like, the only thing that matters is that we have to make some political statement by having Peach be kidnapped and do nothing throughout the entire thing. And that, to me, that's just insane. You're limiting, like, their creativity. You're limiting, like, what Nintendo is doing with their character. Like, you're limiting, like, the female lead in general. Like, instead of having her being, like, a well-rounded character who does a lot for the plot, for the narrative, who has interactions with a lot of different characters. Like, no, she just exists to be saved, bro, which is not and never has been true. Like, it's just a giant cope to try and downplay these movies. And I'm very thankful that it seems like, most of these kind of criticisms are very relegated to terminally online, like, weirdos on 4chan. But it does feel as if, like, they're going to keep doing this every time they announce a new movie. Like, we saw a little bit of this, like, with when Echoes of Wisdom got announced. Like, oh no, the Zelda's the playable character. I guess Link is going to get sabotaged. And, like, meanwhile, in the actual game, he's an actual unit. Like, it's like, they don't really have faith in the product. They don't really have faith in the developers. Like, they want to just push this narrative into thinking that, like, Nintendo just is going to become woke and they're going to undermine their male leads and they're going to become cringe, and it's just not going to happen. And we're still in that phase, like, where pre-release, where people can, like, say whatever they want about the film, and it's not going to stand the test of time, obviously. Like, the Girlboss Peach narrative didn't even really survive, like, the hype cycle of the original movie. But, like, the fact that they're even trying this is embarrassing and really needs to be called out for what it is: a complete and total grift.